Hello and welcome to this Aquarius Sun, Moon, and Rising February 2026 astrology forecast. I do recommend, if you have not yet, go listen to the collective forecast. And there at the beginning, I talk about the Sabian symbols for Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Chiron, as those planets are not moving more than 1 degree in the month of February. And so I really find that the Sabian symbols really give a overview of what we're being asked of collectively when planets stay within 1 degree. It's kind of the overarching lesson of the month, kind of. And then just to, get the feel for what the collective feel of it is, and then come back and watch this one. I do recommend as well watching for your rising sign first, as your rising sign is what sets up the entire house system and indicates where you will be feeling things most prominently in your physical existence as your avatar, or whatever you want to term it. The sun sign will give you more of an indication of where your mental focus, or where your career focus might be, where you are being productive and outwardly focused in life. And then your moon sign will show how you feel more internally, more emotionally, perhaps during the month, or how you may be feeling things within your home. So those are the 3 things, but I would start with the rising sign because that will be the most accurate as to what area of life things are actually showing up for you. Okay, so I have the chart up on the screen here, and you'll notice right here out of the gate, February 1st, we are having a full moon in Leo. Full moons are when the moon opposes the sun. And this is a time of culmination, a time of when, oppositions are calling for balance. So this is when we are focusing our attention and our emotion on the Leo areas of our chart, making sure that we haven't forgotten about them, making sure that we are remaining in balance and aren't too focused over here with all this Aquarius energy, that we are taking the time to stay true to the Leo areas of our lives, stay true to the Leo principle as well. We all, regardless of what our charts are, we all carry all the energy of all 12 signs, and it's best when we can, remain balanced within those to the best of our ability. Full moons are also a time about culmination, when seeds that you have planted are now, being ready to harvest. So things may be showing up in your life. Things may be coming to fruition in this area, which this is in your 7th house of relationships. So there may be things, manifesting in your relationship. Full moon is also the time to release. As the things are manifesting, it's time to do the weeding, right? Look to see what isn't working, and see what you might need to let go of so that you can continue on the path that you are meant to go down. So full moons are a great time for, shining a light on those things that aren't working so that you can release them. Full moons are a time to be grateful for the things that are showing up and manifesting. So you might be seeing some things coming to fruition in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships that you have planted seeds for in the past, and so wishes coming true, or whatever things like that. But it's also a time to let go of anything that might need to be let go of in this area. Like shine a light on it, have it come to your awareness, and then begin the process of figuring out how to let things go that might need to be let go there. So we're starting off the month with a bang as far as that goes. And Leo is asking us, also to connect to our hearts and our courage and our joy and our passions and our creativity, but especially for you as those things relate to your relationship. Then February 3rd, we have Uranus stationing direct in Taurus. So Uranus is one of your rulers. You have two rulers. Uranus is the modern day ruler and Saturn is the traditional ruler. And with both of those planets now being direct, you should feel some energy returning. Uranus has been retrograde for a while, so you should be feeling some energy returning, as well as like you can finally move forward. Like if you have been feeling like there have been things holding you back and things like that, with your ruling planets now both being direct, you should feel like you can make more headway in the things that you have been trying to make headway in than you have in a while. So that is exciting. This also means that there might be some things fast moving in this fourth house of home, family, emotional stability, ancestry, maybe things related to your mother, things like that. Uranus is the planet of not only intellect, but where we want to do things differently. It is kind of the planet of shock and awe. Wherever Uranus is, you kind of want to expect the unexpected. And with it turning direct, that is a big change in motion. So things are going to speed up and things might suddenly be shifting or happening. Maybe you're expecting some of it, maybe you aren't, but related to your home. So that could be related to new purchases, having to move, just like a renovation project, or anything related to the home could suddenly start shifting and getting traction. Like if you've been trying to do something here, realizing changes that need to happen within the home, now that Uranus is direct here for you, that should be able to start happening. As well as, like I said, fourth house is like our emotional well-being, our emotional safety, where we go to retreat. So this could be, more something related to that. It's Uranus can also be sudden insight. So sudden insight on how to go about something, or sudden insight on just your own emotional landscape. And then with Taurus involved here, right, this does bring it kind of more into the physical reality. And, as well, Uranus rules like our nervous system and things like that. So your emotional nervous system, especially being in the fourth house, could be like you might feel that this day, something like that. So keep your eyes out for all those things. Expect the unexpected, but expect things to start moving fast, and things getting done, or just unexpected things in the fourth house areas of your life, which is your home, your family, your ancestry, your mother, and your emotional well-being, and sudden insights perhaps. So then we'll just talk about not necessarily the specific days that everything happens, but we'll just talk about the stellium that is here in your first house, right? This is a huge month for you personally, with all the personal planets here. Not only will this have you, especially with Venus and Pluto, people are going to be drawn to you this month. With Mercury here, you should be able to communicate effectively this month. Mars, you should be feeling very well motivated. The Sun, you should have some good energy, and just good reception out in the world. People will see you in a good light, and you'll be able to really accomplish a lot in the month of February. So that is exciting for all of the Aquarius people out there. But I just want to talk about the stellium a little bit as well, and what these planets are going to be doing for you this month. So, last month we started the month with the planets in Capricorn, and they made conjunctions to the sun, and had, this birthing, this seeding process, right? Of new beginnings and new cycles and things like that. And then at the end of the month, as they moved into Aquarius, they all made conjunctions here with Pluto, which is the planet of transformation. So all these personal planets have now, had a birth of a new cycle with the sun, and then gone through transformation with Pluto, of kind of going through the weeds and understanding and having realizations about things maybe that need to be let go of or transform, what you need to release in order to make room for these new seeds to flourish. And these planets are still at the beginning of the month, still under the beams of the sun, I guess you could say. So they are not visible in the sky, but later in the month they will be visible in the sky. And that is when the seeds that were planted in January will start to finally show themselves, right? You'll start to feel the new beginnings that were planted back last month. But they are still working here, and going through a process of transformation while they're here. And the conversations that they are going to be having are, first, they are all going to have this sextile with Chiron in Aries. And, we've been working with Chiron in Aries for a long time now. Chiron is also direct, so a lot of forward movement, everything, most things are direct. It's just Jupiter that is retrograde now. But so, this is our I am wounding, where we have held ourselves back for the sake of others, where we've kept ourselves small. And so these personal planets are in this beautiful sextile, from your first house to your third house. So this is where you maybe have not felt like you can communicate appropriately. Well, Mercury is here in your first house of Aquarius, of doing things differently, giving you the opportunity to really work with this and heal this. And each of these planets are going to take their turn making this sextile to Chiron, helping you bring more healed energy, helping you heal this wound of being confident in who you are, and confident in your voice, confident in your place, confident in taking up space in this world, basically, throughout the month. They will be taking turns making this sextile. They also will all be making a square to Uranus. And squares are tension points, right? And as we discussed, Uranus represents you. It is it's your chart ruler, so it does represent you. So it's like the square is kind of a tension between you versus you. So there's, potentially some decision. Squares usually want some type of resolution. They want a decision to be made. It's a challenge point. that requires us to often make a decision about something so that we can move forward. So with all these planets in your first house, right, your planet of communication, your planet and learning and ideas, your planet of Venus, your finances, your resources, your value system, your relationships, Mars, your willpower, your motivation, your drive. All of those are going to be squaring your Uranus this month. Uranus. I don't know why I'm having a hard time figuring out how to say that word right now. As well as the sun will be making that square as well. So all of these are going to be making this square. And with it being between your first house and your fourth house, this could be bringing new ideas, new thought processes, new financial things to your home, new thought processes about your home, new information about your home or your home life, or just sudden insights again about your home. And this could be range from anywhere from finding a new home or making a renovation to the home, or something related to your actual physical residence that you live in. Or with it being the fourth house, this could just be your emotional well-being. Maybe you create a sanctuary spot in your home, and with this related, to you could be the one creating these changes. You could be the one initiating these changes that maybe other people are feeling as this unpredictable Uranus energy. Or it could be something coming from the outside, but considering it's a square between your first house, which represents you, and your fourth house with your ruling planet, I think maybe the changes that are coming might be related to something that you're initiating, or something like that you need to do all of a sudden to make home feel better, or something like that. Or it could be related to a relationship with your mother, or discovering something about your ancestry, or ancient knowledge or wisdom coming from your ancestors. Something like that could be coming up as well. So then all these planets are going to it's going to start with Mercury entering Pisces on February 6th, and all of them are going to move into Pisces except for Mars. Mars is going to be hanging back, so the ultra rare stellium of all personal planets together is going to end at the end of this month, but we will still have the stellium of these three in Pisces. And as they come into Pisces, by the end of the month, these three planets are going to make a conjunction with the North Node. So they've been through this rebirth, this planting new seeds, in Capricorn, building structures. They've gone through this transformation, figuring out what needs to stay, what needs to go. And now they're going to be having this conjunction with the North Node, which will be helping align all of these areas of your life to your highest and best good, right? And for you, as these planets are moving into the second house is your financial house, right? It is the house of your money, your physical resources, your value system, how you feel enough. So this could be making sure, and in Pisces, Pisces is the sign of compassion and universal love. It is also the sign where we lack boundaries and things like that. But Saturn has been here working with us for the last couple of years, teaching us how to have better boundaries, as well as Neptune has been here for a really long time, right? Kind of clouding things up, muddying the waters. And now that Neptune has moved into your third house, the second house, you should be feeling a little bit more clear, a little bit more stable, a little bit more grounded in, now that Neptune has left and Saturn is here by itself now, helping solidify any boundaries or solidify any lessons that it's been helping teach you over the last 2.5 years. So as these planets come and make a connection with the North Node, they will be helping you align your new value system, right? Especially with the second house in the house of values, and Pisces being the more spiritual energy, right? So helping you align your thought processes and your education and your communication with your true north of compassion, and making sure it aligns with your values, making sure, your financial and your relationships with Venus are aligned. What you're doing in those areas of your life are aligned to your true values, and guiding you towards your true north of trusting in your abundance, right? North Node in Pisces is kind of where collectively we're learning to let go and let God and fall into this trust and have our that compassion and things like that as well. So you're kind of going through this process of making sure that the seeds that were planted, that the things you're letting go of are aligned with your true north, and to kind of, you may not see, as we talked about with some of these planets being so close to the sun, you may not see results yet, but learning to trust that you will be taken care of in this financial house, that you don't have to be confused anymore with Neptune moving out of here, and the clarity will be returning, which is fantastic. Okay, so then on February 13th, we have Saturn, which again is your traditional ruler, moving into the sign of Aries. So you personally, with this being your ruler, moving into a fire sign, you should be feeling, number one, a lot more clarity, because with your ruler being in the sign of Pisces, which lacks boundaries and things like that, it can kind of deplete your energy. However, it is still, coming into this 0-degree point, and although the conjunction is not exact, your ruling planet is still conjunct with Neptune, which can deplete energy a little bit. So even though both your planets are direct, your energy still is not fully returned. And, unfortunately, Saturn is, both of your ruling planets move slow. So you should be feeling like more energy return when Uranus goes into a fellow air sign, as well as, in about 2.5 years when Saturn moves out of the same sign of Neptune, or just gets a little bit more space from Neptune. But regardless, being in a fire sign, you should be feeling a little bit of a pickup of energy there, which is exciting. But so on the 13th, Saturn moves into Aries. This conjunction is not exact until February 20th, but we are clearly all going to be feeling it. For you, this is happening in your third house, and we've been talking about this for a while, right? That this is where the new you is going to be born. And what is the third house? The third house is the planet of education, of communication, of local neighborhoods and communities, of siblings and extended family, of local short distance travel and things like that. So this is kind of where your new energy is, and the new you is going to emerge. This is where, going into the new world that we are all collectively birthing right now, this is kind of where you're birthing your new role. Clearly it will change over the progression of your lifetime, but this really is the seeding point of of where you're beginning this new world. And part of that is because, Neptune, well, number one, why this is so big is the last time that, this is a very rare conjunction. The last time that Saturn and Neptune were conjunct in Aries was back in the 1700s. But before that, they have never, in recorded history, at least not in the history that I'm able to look back into with AstroSeek, it only goes 500 BC. But never in that time period have these two conjunct at the 0 degree point, right? And that's why this is so big, and so this is where you are becoming the new version of you, is because it's at the 0 degree point of Aries. This is a world point. This is the beginning of the zodiac. So this is the seeding point of all new births. This is the seeding point. And so with these two conjunct here, right, Neptune is our dreams, our hopes, our connection to the other realms, the connection to God, spirit, the collective consciousness, the Christ consciousness, right? And Saturn is coming here to kind of ground that energy in. So this is kind of where you are meant to be aligned with. So where you're going to be making a biggest impact in the world, and you may not be feeling it yet, right? This may sound totally foreign to you, but you're likely going to get more involved in your community. You're going to get more involved in learning or educating or something along those lines, more of a voice in social media, more or just communicating, teaching in general. Your voice is going to be important in your local community. You also might be getting more into short distance travel and your extended family, things like that. So that is exciting. Let me know in the comments how you are feeling that. Going back to all these personal planets too, I forgot to mention that after they trine the North Node, after they make a conjunction to the North Node, they are also going to be making a beautiful trine to Jupiter retrograde over here in Cancer, in your 6th house of daily habits, health, routines, service to others. So, this trine between the 6th house of work and service and your 2nd house, there might be new opportunities or returning opportunities, somehow related to work and money and finances, or you could just be dialing in your daily habits and aligning them to your value system, or figuring out how to, do all the things that you want to do. Bringing in, Jupiter can be, past opportunities coming back around, or past ideas coming back around and turning into something, being able to capitalize on them. This could be bringing back ancient wisdom. This could also just be, especially, Cancer being the house of emotion and home and things like that. This could be bringing opportunities for work from home, or as far as the emotional piece, just learning with your value system, learning how to protect your peace, whether that's in your daily routine, how you serve others, things like that. But there could be some new opportunities here in your daily routine, in your health, because food can definitely come up in the 2nd house of resources and things like that. So this could be related to work, or this could be new dietary programs, new health regimes that are finally sticking, or something like that could be coming up with all these personal planets making this. But it's, Jupiter wants to bring you abundance and blessings and opportunities. So there's a lot of different opportunities here with all the personal planets making this trine. So a lot of different areas of your life getting hit beautifully with this energy of abundance. But with it retrograde, it's kind of more internal. It's going to maybe not be so visible yet, just bubbling under the surface. Okay, so then here on February 17th, we are going to be having a new moon, which is new beginnings, at the 28th degree of Aquarius, and this is actually going to be an annual solar eclipse. This is the beginning of eclipse season. Annual solar eclipses are felt pretty powerful, and considering it is with the north node, eclipses occur usually when a new or full moon is within about 16 degrees of the north or south node. And so since this is a new moon, which brings new beginnings, and it's paired with the north node, which is also new things coming to fruition, this is a lot of new energy coming to your first house of self. So this really could be bringing anything, right? With the north node being in the second house, this could be bringing, new financial opportunities, new resources, bringing abundance of some sort. It could be, with the moon ruling your sixth house, it could be bringing things in regards to your work, your daily habits, your health, your routines, your work. Sixth house also represents pets. Maybe there's a new pet coming along that changes your life, or something like that, but could be bringing opportunities there. The sun not only rules, who you are, and wherever the sun is in your chart could be bringing opportunity, and same with your moon, like whatever house your moon is, it could be bringing opportunities from those houses. But as well, the sun also rules your seventh house of relationship and partnership and things like that. So there could be, new beginnings or new opportunities or things like that here. And seventh house, also rules contracts, romantic relationships, business partnerships, friendships, things like that. So there could be a lot of just new beginnings here. I will be doing, a separate video for this when it gets closer, but major new beginnings for you, that with eclipse energy, it's kind of similar to Uranus energy. Like, we don't know what it's going to bring, and can often be unexpected and felt as kind of disruptive, even if it's something good. But with the north node, with it being an eclipse, it is like fated events, right? Karmic fated events that are meant to shift you in whatever direction it is that you are needing to be shifted into. So that is super exciting. On the 26th, Mercury will be turning retrograde in your second house. So this could be a slowing of perhaps opportunities in the second house, or just the typical Mercury retrograde things. Communication might not be the best in the second house of finances and values and things like that. There could be something financially related to short distance travel or automobiles. There might be communication, like I said, mishaps, things like that in your second house. Could also be, tie in your fifth house and ninth house, as Mercury rules those two houses. So there could be some, something with the second house being finances. There could be something, that comes up as far as communication goes in regards to fifth house things, your children, your romantic partners, your joy, your creativity, if you're an entrepreneur, something like that. 9th house is belief system, could be teaching, higher education, something like that. So there could be like a pullback of those things, or you might just not be able to communicate as effectively. Or there could be something, you know, perhaps going on with your child or your romantic partner, or in your belief systems, or things like that with that retrograde cycle. And then last but not least, on the 27th, we will be having Mercury conjunct Venus. And this is interesting to note too, because this is actually the second conjunction that they've had. They had a conjunction the 29th of January, but this time the conjunction is with Mercury retrograde. So it's kind of like after we have had this conjunction with the North Node, it's like they're getting another chance. And with Mercury retrograde, it's like you're getting a chance to really rethink and reevaluate your finances and your relationships, right? Because Venus represents those things and your value system, and Mercury is the mind and communication and our thought processes and things like that. So with this conjunction happening again, you're really getting the opportunity to really rethink your finances. Make sure that what you're doing here for work is aligned with who you are. Make sure that your relationships are aligned with who you currently are, and you're getting this opportunity to really dive into this second house themes, you know, not only because this conjunction is happening in your second house, but also because it's happening with the planet of Venus, which rules and governs very similar things: our finances, our relationships, our value system. So really making sure that you're on track and aligned with your values and things like that. So that is a beautiful opportunity to end the month with, I think. And that is really about it. So I hope you have a wonderful month. Comment below with what you're most excited about, what you're most nervous about, and throughout the month, you know, keep coming back to this and leaving comments if you can about how things are showing up for you. And I hope you have a wonderful month, and I look forward to seeing you here next month or in my next videos. Have a great day.